Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. The Fever get a shock to the system as they lose to the Sparks 89 to 87 at home. A tough loss for the Fever as they never really pulled away from the Sparks in this game and had a couple of shots at the end that fell a little bit short. But the Fever won in the paint, they won on second chance points, they won in rebounds, won in steals, they won in blocks. But they had a few big glaring issues in this game and that didn't let them ultimately prevail, which was the first was perimeter defense. The reason they couldn't pull away from this team was that the Sparks were shooting 45% from three, similar to their Sun loss where the Sun shot 50%. And part of that was, yes, the Sparks shot well, but also the other part was they were wide open on so many threes. And this can't happen. Azare Stevens can't be this wide open. It should not be happening with as much regularity as it was in this game. We got lucky on a bunch of them, to be honest. Azare Stevens really just beat the brakes off of us. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We also got beat on a lot of mismatches and bad assignments. Rakia Jackson was a height mismatch on so many matchups we had against Kelsey Mitchell, against Airy. Like, there were just so many problems with that matchup. And Hall also, at times, she was put on Azare Stevens on one play when Tasha Howard should have been there and Hall should have been on Rakia. There's just kind of some messiness with the defensive assignments on the court. Maybe some lack of communication that was dropping off. Something was happening in this game. There was also a lot of examples where Tosh tonight, unfortunately, was off on defensive assignments. The double team into Tosh leaving Rakia Jackson open for multiple shots underneath the basket, including an and one that helped them get ahead was really frustrating to see in this game. And ultimately, I think that, if the defense is going to be the way you win, it's tough when, there is a reason they say that good offense beats good defense. And in this case, I think that the Sparks not only shot well, but there was a little bit of underperformance from the defense from the Fever, which has been so great lately. And so, like, a blip is a blip, but also it's just a painful one when you're at home and you lose. And I don't think that this game felt like the same kind of like fourth quarter collapse as we saw. Again, there was a big third quarter, which is concerning, but that is something that the Fever have to work through. Coming out of half's a lot stronger. They came out of the half necessarily bad, but the way the quarter ended was tough. And again, a lot of it was that threes, but there was some good tonight. So let's talk through the roster of the players. Aaliyah Boston, 23 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 block shots. Got into foul trouble early. Again, that just is her curse. The rest have a blood feud against her. I don't know what's up, but she had a huge impact as always. Missed some tough ones down the stretch, and I know she beats herself up about all the little ones she misses, but I mean, ultimately, she was the most consistent player tonight besides Natasha Howard, who offensively, her efficiency was crazy tonight. She was shooting 72%, which is wild. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks as well. So a lot of that, again, huge impact from Tosh in this game. Despite the negative, she brings a lot of positive to the team. Mitchell had an interesting night tonight. She had 19 points and was shooting crazy efficient, 47% and 3 from 6 from 3. The issue, though, was she kind of had a recurrence to putting her head down a lot, and we didn't see a lot of assists. Like lately in a lot of the games, the Fever have been doing really well. She's been adding to that assist column pretty well, but tonight she really was hunting for points, and she had 0 assists. Actually, she had goose eggs all the way down the board, like no rebounds, no nothing. Like she was there to shoot, and that was it for tonight. Airy, bad shooting night, but a little bit deceptive because I feel like Airy kind of gets jobbed because she's the one that always gets the ball at the end of shot clocks when the offense can't do anything, and she has to huck up she has to really quick catch and shoot, and maybe not the best circumstances. Sometimes she gets a low pass, and so that kind of eats into her efficiency from the shooting part of it. But otherwise, I think her biggest asset tonight was the 8 assists, which was huge for the team. And of course, we have KK, who had more points on the board today, showed flashes of the future of rim protection for the Fever, some great rejections and blocks, and just all around just being a menace, which is what you like to see. So athletic, especially on this drive right here. And I think that really, again, it's important to keep giving her reps, even though, there are some rough edges. I think that it's great that the coach is putting her in. Colson, honestly, in my opinion, tonight was a night where I think she got too little time, honestly. 6 points, 2 for 3 from 3, 5 assists, some of them Caitlin Clark-esque. and one really good block. Like her block on Rakia Jackson was huge. They had to challenge it, but it was a very good block in a position where we had been getting beaten mismatches a lot for the night. Cunningham had good positive minutes on the court, had the highest plus minus, 4 points, 1 offensive rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, and a great and one that got the crowd going. We need her to start hitting that 3-point shot, and that will start to turn the tide of a lot of these games. Hull, I feel for her because she is like the workhorse defender. Again, was pulling offensive fouls again tonight, being disruptive. Hit a 3, had a great inbound jumper, which that play seems to it feels automatic to me at this point. That jumper is so nice from her. However, on defense, I think that she overplays on some cases and gets beat. Again, some of it were assignment things where she got put on Azariah Stevens, which is just a hard ask from her. I feel like she should have been glued to Rakia this game, and I don't know why they kept moving her away or what was going on there. And this is just another game where she had the worst plus minus on the team, even though we all know her for high effort defense and that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting to I want to go back and look at some of the games and see like where the trend of this might be coming from. Is it just that she's getting all the hard matchups, or like is something else going on there that is not being seen? Ultimately, the Fever offensively played solid, like good shooting percentage, all that stuff, great. Defensively, they underperformed against a team that was overperforming on shooting, which is just a recipe to lose, right? You know, I don't even know how you block this shot from Azariah Stevens. Like I don't even know what Natasha Howard was supposed to do there. But this game is a perfect example of why the team needs Clark. You know, I'm working on a video that is going to kind of go over the numbers and kind of make the case why, like, I get that the emotional feeling is that everyone has this, like, the defense is so good and Clark notoriously is bad at defense, and you know, the team is performing good enough offensively without her. So isn't it better to have like the best defense and like perform good enough on offense? Like we have enough tools, that kind of stuff. I think the reality is the numbers, spoilers. The defense without Clark actually isn't that much better. Like it looks better. The past few games, you're like, wow, crazy. We held the team to under 50 points, whatever. But if you actually look at all the games without Clark, like it's not that much better. I think part of it is the team is just getting better in general as they get more time to play together. And there's this feeling that like introducing Clark is going to disrupt that, or it's going to bring us back down or something. An analogy I like to use to put like people being happy with the team without Clark versus with Clark, or the arguments that are being made, is I feel like the team without Caitlin Clark is a Le Mans race car. It's a Le Mans race car. It's a race car that is built for endurance races. It prioritizes reliability, and when you're going to go out there any night, you're going to race other Le Mans race cars. And when you go around that track, the problem is that when you run against other cars in your class, there are going to be nights where, you know, you can't pull away, and on that, and they cross you on the finish line. You know, you're not able to quite pull away from them. But having Clark is like having a Formula One race car. You know, you might be afraid because it's a little bit more temperamental, but the top speed and the high performance, if you get it dialed in, is so much better than a Le Mans race car that you're giving up that potential. And tonight, I feel like the Indiana Fever needed a Formula One race car to pull away, and their Formula One race car was sitting on the bench. So with that, let me know down in the comments below, who was your MVP for tonight? What was your favorite moment of this game? And as always, remember, you're going to be amazing today because you are amazing. And I'll catch you next episode.